Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, lovers of literature, and seekers of beauty in words. It is both an honor and a delight to welcome you all to the launch of Measure of My Days, a profoundly evocative collection by the gifted poet Dr. Ritu Kamra Kumar. Today, we gather not merely to unveil a book, but to celebrate a journey through memory, womanhood, love, resilience, time, identity, and the quiet music of everyday existence. Measure of My Days is not just poetry, it is a living gallery of emotions, reflections, and human experiences stitched together with lyrical brilliance. I extend my heartfelt gratitude and warm welcome to our esteemed panelists, Dr. Santosh Bakaya, Dr. Ampat Koshy, Dr. Meenakshi Mohan, and Ms. Satbir Chadha, whose presence adds immense grace and intellectual richness to this occasion. A very warm welcome to our respected chairperson, Dr. Roopali Sircar Gaur, whose distinguished contribution to literature and academia inspires so many among us. I would also like to extend sincere welcome to the convener, Prasanna K. Kumar, whose dedication and literary vision through the fertile brains have created a meaningful space for writers, poets, thinkers, and readers to come together in dialogue and creativity. And of course, today belongs most beautifully to the poet herself, Dr. Ritu Kamra Kumar, whose words breathe tenderness into silence and transform fleeting moments into timeless words. I would like to request you all to hold the book in your hands as we officially launch this book. On behalf of everyone gathered here, I congratulate Dr. Ritu Kamra Kumar on this magnificent achievement and wish Measure of My Days immense success, meaningful readership, and the enduring place it richly deserves in contemporary poetry. Dr. Ritu Kamra Kumar is a retired principal and associate professor of English from MLN College, Yamunanagar, Haryana, an accomplished academician and creative writer. She has published over 500 articles, medals, and poems in leading national newspapers such as The Hindu, The Tribune, Hindustan Times, Deccan Herald, Deccan Chronicle, and reputed journals, with around 80 research papers in Scopus, peer-reviewed and index journals. She has actively contributed as a resource person, speaker, and workshop facilitator. She has 10 books to her credit: academic, fiction, non-fiction, and poetry. She has received multiple literary awards and got featured in the Hindustan Times as Empowered Woman. She is widely recognized for her significant contribution to literature and creative writing. She is also enlisted as a reviewer in the magazine and book section of the Tribune. She is also an enlisted writer of Women's Era. Recently, her two books, Tender Tales of Life's Lanes, a short story anthology, and Measure of My Days, were featured in the Tribune in backflap and review section. Her journey has also been featured in the Hindustan Times on April 19th, 2026. Over to you, Dr. Ritu Kamra Kumar. Ma'am, unmute yourself. Ritu, ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. And Sneha, thank you for warm words of introduction. First of all, I humbly appreciate Worthy Fertile Brains team for organizing this meet for the launch of my book, Measures of My Days. I also thank esteemed and erudite panelists for being here. I know you're all very busy, literary legends. Santosh Di often laughs when I say literary legends, but I truly mean this. And you have your personal and professional commitment, but still you have made it here. So grateful to all of you. I'm thankful to Santosh Bakaya Di for writing forward, Dr. Ampat Koshy for writing afterward, Satbir Chadha for editing the book, and Roopali ma'am and Meenakshi ma'am for being here. So now I come to the book. Should I talk about the book now, Sneha? Am I
Yes,
supposed?
ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So the book consists of 108 poems divided into 11 sections based on forms of the poem. There are different types of form. This happens to be my 10th book and third poetry anthology. And in this anthology, there are many forms which I tried for the first time, like conversational poems, clickbait, then villanelle, and roseate sonnet. I had written that is discovered by Dr. Ampat Koshy. But I understood the nuances of writing roseate sonnet when I wrote this anthology, or I wrote for this Napa Remote, TSL Napa Remote 2025. Many poems are written on the prompts of TSL Napa Remote 2025 and Pandorathan 2025. I'm deeply indebted to this platform because I learned a lot. I'll refer to one of the poems that I wrote for the prompts. It was Pendorathan 18, 2025. The prompt was a skirmish between gossip monger and rumor monger. That is on page 25. The title of the poem is Of Prompts and Poppycock, a satirical soiree in verse. Basically, this poem is a tribute to the admins of TSL, the Significant League. I'll not read the whole long poem. I'll just read the last three stanzas. We were asked to write a conversation between gossip monger and rumor monger. I chose Avantika. Avantika happens to be one of a very good writer of TSL. And this is how we conversed, and this is how I concluded the poem. Yet let us confess in poetic tone, no ill we bear, just seeds we have sown. We were discussing the difficult prompts that we were being given in those days. For gossip and rumor, a rhythmic delight. In verses, we zest through the silent night. Avantika with a toast. To prompts that make our brains combust. To Bakaya's flavor and to flair and poetic thrust. May we grumble, giggle, and scribble on in sonnets of satire from dusk till dawn. With a smile, both of us say, though Ritu rumors and Avantika gossips, our hearts are full of lyrical toss ups. No malice here, just poetic play. In TSL's garden, we bloom all the way. And this is the fact. In TSL garden, I think I have learned a lot. The admins have seen my work. Three of the admins are here today. I'm fortunate that at this book launch, three of admins of the Significant Leave are present, and they know they'll be talking about my work. This will be something. This is a great pleasure to me. So now I come to the title of the uh, book. Why did I choose this title? See, concept of time has always fascinated me as a writer. It, I think, enamors all the writers. I believe both the times move together, linear as well as non-linear time. And social realism and psychological realism, they are also fused together. As Virginia Woolf says, that we try it, she describes it through the triangle, that at the end, one end of the triangle is social realism, and at other it is psychological realism, and then they join. And this is what Toni Morrison also talks about. She says we move in circles. So concept of time, my days are not measured, measures of my days are not measured by mechanical clock, or you can say the clock that we have, that is hung on our walls, but it is measured by nostalgia, memory, experiences. I'll read few lines from author's note where I'll talk about the genesis of title. Time measured or felt shapes the contours of our lives. The title, Measures of My Days, draws inspiration from Psalm 39.4, which reminds us that life is finite, precious, and to be accounted for with care. Dylan Thomas and modern poets echo this awareness in myriad ways. Each poem becomes a pulse, a pause, a recollection that weighs more in depth than in duration. The measure here is not simply clock, minutes are ours. But the richness of lived experience, the emotional imprint of moments that endure, the quiet reflections that give life its resonance. Our days are measured in love, loss, tenderness, wonder, and the silences in between, the poetry of life itself. The measure here is emotional rather than chronological, inward rather than imposed. My very first poem is basically dedicated to this concept of time, echoes in the gallery. I'll read two stanzas from this poem also to make my concept of time clear. In silent stillness, memories stir. Soft shadows slip through time's thin blur. A scented scarf, a silver smile. Memories that moved me just for a while. I am skipping two stanzas. I walk through these rooms of reverie where Saraswati plays soft ceaselessly. Her Veena's notes are thread of grace, weaving the past we cannot replace. The past stays with us. The place, the people, everything remains with us. A touch, a tune, a trembling light. Hold hands with both sorrow and delight. We live in the now, yet never free of the heart's haunted gallery. So I bow to the moments memory brings, each ache a chord on time's trembling strings. So this is how the measure of my days, the title came into being. That my it is the book is about nostalgia, about lived experiences, about love, about resilience. Coming to the theme of the books, theme of this book, the book is shaped by tapestry of emotions, various and veritable, I would say. And if I have to enlist the first theme that comes into my mind, because most of the dramatic monologues that are written are on the theme of weight of womanhood. Word of woman or woman's word, because women study gender studies is my thrust area, so that you can call my strength as well as my weakness also, because whenever I sit to write, generally I tend to write a poem or a story that moves towards some women. I don't know, it happens instinctively, it is not a deliberate move. So many of the poems are dedicated to women. Another aspect that I have covered in the poems is nature. I've written about rivers, oceans, birds, trees, flowers, five elements of which we are made of: soil, water, water bodies, and then stars, moon, sky, clouds, seasons, all the seasons: summer, winter, autumn. These are the seasons that I have written in my poems. Relationships. Another aspect that I have covered in my poetry is that is blissful bonds. There is one poem on my mother. She used to make meethi matti, and however much we try, we cannot make the replica. And whenever my sister and me, our children always say, "ये बड़ी mama जैसी नहीं बनी है." So that flavor, that taste that my mother had, we cannot create that. Then there is one poem that is dedicated to father also. That is when I was in my mind and my heart and head was in conflict. My father came to rescue. He guided me. He held my hand and told me that this is the way you need to walk. There is one poem that is dedicated to teachers. The pen that they handed over to me and put me on the pilgrimage of scholarship opened many vistas of literature, I would say. They taught me how to decode the poem, how to write the critique of the poem. So salute to such teachers. So I basically became an ardent fan of literature, from a reluctant pursuer to ardent fan of literature. It is all because of my teachers. So my kids, in humanity in general, love for country, that is our relationship with our country. I've written one poem on my country also. Another theme that I've talked about is love and longing. There is one beautiful poem, if you have read, "He is the soundtrack of my life." This poem is dedicated to my husband, because my, you can say, existence is somehow is knitted with him, weaved with his existence. So together, he's the soundtrack of my life, because if I am the lyric, he is the sound. We move together. So that is what I have tried to convey through this poem. Then journey of soul. I'm a very spiritual person, God loving person, and I believe that every human being is a soul, and who is on his or her journey. And in his or her journey, he has to bear what the karma has written, and what he has to face. He can hold the umbrella that is given to us by God, and we all try to hold that umbrella. We visit the temples, we go there to get the high energy, but that high energy, I think, lies within us. That is what one of my poem also says, silence sings. That spaces, the spiritual spaces are within us, and that is what I read in Alice Walker's The Color Purple. She talks about that God is in every creation that he has created. So why find him in temple or church or everywhere? He is there. In spiritual spaces are everywhere. It is only the need is to create high energy that we create, and then we feel good about it. Then there are poems about social subtleties. There are poems about social subtleties like old age resilience, pride of rich, AI, environmental issues, perception, flip the dice. This was the one poem I discussed with Prasanna also when we were given the prompt. I didn't know how to move. He guided me on this. And then there are emptiness syndrome. There is a poem where the laughter lingered. So that is what we everybody at my age, my son is away, and he comes in between, but we do face the home is filled, and then suddenly two of us are left, and then you kind of feel the emptiness, the vacuum. So that I also have written. I have written about autism also, autism awareness. I weep in plastic, environmental issues. So there are the bro speaks. I've talked about farmer, how he works in his fields and what he basically gets in spite of his dedication and everything, what actually he gets. So social subtleties is one of the aspect that I have tried to cover in my poetry. Then humor is also there in one of the poem, that is mismatched socks. When I went to the college with one socks white and one red, basically this was again a prompt that was given to us by Santosh Bakaya di, and it turned out to be a very humorous poem. Then there is one poem where cat thinks that she has to become a dog. Took the cat of Virginia Woolf Pinka, and wants to become dog of Picasso Lump. That also turned out to be a very humorous poem. And then there is house number 13. We were asked by Dr. Ampat Koshy, we were given a prompt that you have to write on something ominous, something which we don't consider auspicious. It can be a number, it can be a cat. So I chose the number 13 because we lived in house number 13 in Officers Colony in Bala City, which proved to be very lucky for all of us. So I wrote about that. Then there is one poem, the poultry pandemonium. That is also how the chick creates havoc in the kitchen, the lure of lethargic life. So there is another poem that how I tried to move from the bed, but then again the laziness prevents me from getting up. So these are certain poems which I have tried to write, and there are other poems also which deal with the different emotions. As I told you, there are different hues and shades, and panelists are here to tell me how I have come up, whether I have come up to their expectations or not. So today I would like to listen to them, that what do they feel about my writing, because they are the one I hold in high esteem. Dr. Ampat Koshy, his presence means a lot to me, because Santosh Bakaya di, I used to take baby steps. Satbir di and Santosh Bakaya di, they taught me how to walk as far as poetry is concerned. So salute to such admins for their dedication, for their commitment. It's not easy to give prompt every day, and then we write, and then we do expect that read also, they do comment also. So I learned a lot. They have seen my work, so I would like to know today what they think about my work. That's all, Sneha, I can say about my book.
That was great, ma'am. Thank you so much to know about your poetry, about your book.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank you.
As one journeys through this collection, one encounters poetry that is deeply reflective yet universally resonant. In echoes in the gallery, memories become living companions. We live in the now, yet never free. of the heart, hush haunted gallery. Through these lines, the poet reminds us that memory is not a burden alone, it is also an inheritance of love, grief, music, and identity. With this, I would like to call Dr. Santosh Bakaya. Santosh Bakaya, PhD, is an award winning poet, academic, essayist, novelist, biographer, TEDx speaker, and creative writing mentor
That's
whose
all,
work
Sneha.
is deeply.
That's all, Sneha. I'll start talking now. That's all. That's
Over
all.
to you,
It
Santosh
is
ma'am.
Ritu Kamra. It is Ritu Kamra's day today. So it was wonderful listening to you, Ritu. And
Thank you,
it is
Santosh
this
ji.
book is indeed a very, very well written book. And
Thank you.
you
Didi,
somewhere you
it is
talk
all
about the
because of
pulse.
you.
So
It is all because
your
of you
hand is
that
on the
I could
pulse
write.
of
Salute
the
to you.
readers. And I loved all the poems that you have written. And let me tell you that you write beautifully in prose as well as in poetry. And in this book, she talks about the richness of lived experience, and each poem has an emotional imprint of enduring moments. And Ritu, you write beautifully. Let me repeat, whether it is prose or poetry, and your stories are also very well written. So, if you'll allow me, I'll read a few paragraphs, not few paragraphs, few lines from my foreword. And here I go. We find her looking at the world around her with an acute lens. The poems are an eclectic mix. She deals with such subjects as autism, AI, lethargy. There are odes to creativity, spirituality, to summers, to starry nights, to the whispering grove and sleepless nights. Even the trivialities of life get very, very serious thought. And in these poems, she comes across as an erudite poet who also has a great sense of humor. I really loved some of her poems, and the rhythmic cadence in your poems I really love, because I also write in rhymes, although rhymes are looked down upon, yet I cling to those rhymes, the rhyme and meter. I really love that. In fact, I believe that there can be no poetry without rhyme and meter, whatever the naysayers say. So the underlying intertextuality in her poems is also quite interesting, intriguing, and challenging for the reader. Her deft use of literary devices, especially personification and the alliterative cadence, appeals to the senses. So let me cite a few examples. Cradles coo and conscious chime. In silent stillness, memories stir. Soft shadows slip through time's thin blur. A scented scarf, a silver smile, moments that moved me just for a while. So you'll find everything here. You will find personification. Of course, she is known for her the alliterative cadence that's all her poems have. And hats off to you for writing all these poems and writing on different prompts with this and emotional elegance, I'll call it, because they are emotional and they are elegant, and you have written with an effortless ease. So hats off to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Santosh.
Thank you for writing this. And I love this book very much.
Thank you, Santosh
Thank you,
Bakaya,
ma'am.
for lovely words.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insight. In
Thank you,
Smile,
Sneha, for the time.
in Smile traverses far and wide, a simple smile becomes a transformative force that travels from one heart to another, healing invisible wounds and rekindling hope. The poem beautifully captures the ripple effect of kindness in an increasingly fragmented world. Then comes Through My Window. You must see a powerful poetic assertion of womanhood and selfhood. The poet gives voice to countless women who have lived through silence yet continue to rise with resilience and grace. The lines echo strength without bitterness, rebellion without noise. I would now like to call Dr. Ampat Koshy. Ampat Koshy currently works at Mount Carmel Autonomous College, Bangalore, in the English department. He is the co-founder director at the Autism for Help Village Project Trust. He also co-founded the Significant League, instituted the Ruel International Prize for Literature, altered the sonnet form to make the Roseate Sonnet, and is a nominee for Pushcart Poetry Prize 2012 Hindu Literary Prize for Fiction 2017, and Poem of the Year Spill Words 2023, Jajan Best Researcher 2018. Over to you, Dr. Ampat Koshy. Please unmute yourself, sir.
Thank you, Sneha. I have unmuted myself. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know where you got all that from. I had given an entirely different. But anyway, thank you. Just want to say that I'm using a laptop and a mobile. But, the Wi-Fi on my lab is not working so well. I wanted to read something from my post face. Ritu had asked me to write a kind of summary at the end of a book for her poems. I'm unable to open it. So if I open it, I lose the connection. So I request that, Ritu could read some of it out, maybe. And later I read the poem of some awareness in the round. Because I really have a personal connection with that poem and I want to read that. It's a very fine book. She has written some, I think, 108 poems. And I think she has covered almost anything that I can think of, being a teacher, about her parents, about her husband, and humor, and all things that she said. So I really like the book. And yeah, I wanted to read something from the space, but I can't keep it open because I've kept the poem open. So can you read something from that, just so that it refers to your poem, just so that people can get an idea about the book. Is she there?
Sneha.
Yes.
Are you listening to me? Can you hear me, Ritu?
Yes, sir, your voice is not so clear.
All the things I said you couldn't hear properly.
Yes, sir, you asked me to read the last page.
No, I want Ritu to read. What I've written about some of the poems, in the last page. If she doesn't mind, she could read it.
Prasanna, can you read it?
Sorry?
Can you read it?
No, he was saying he was meant to say something else. Yeah.
Yeah, I want Ritu to read it. There's a paragraph about some of the poems written on the last page. If she could read it, it would be helpful. Can you hear me?
Sir, your voice is not clear, so we cannot hear you clearly.
Oh, I don't know what the problem is.
You want us to read the last paragraph?
Afterward. I personally believe he wants us to read afterward. And Prasanna,
Yes.
can you read? This is what you want, sir?
He wants
Let me read the afterward. Let me read a few lines from the afterward, Dr. I want you to read one section in the afterword where I talk about some of your poems specifically.
Okay.
May I read from the afterword?
Santosh Ji, you please read it.
Yeah. I'll read something from the afterword. Okay. In closing this luminous collection, The Measure of My Days by Ritu Kamra Kumar, its echoes linger much like the dusk-lit chords that the poet so often invokes. Each lyric, monologue, and soliloquy weaves together the ordinary and the extraordinary threads of personal loss, transformation, and moments of hard-won joy. These poems reveal not just the arc of one life, but offers a tapestry into which readers might interlace their own experiences, memories of childhood, struggles with silence, and the steady resilience found when one dares to speak truth and embrace change. Let us bow to memory, welcome change, and pursue the unique light within. And he also says that these poems will remain a gentle, enduring guide for those seeking grace amid the chaos of living. And he mentions some poems such as Her
Yeah.
Sorrows Only She Knows, and Not a Goddess, Just Human, interrogate tradition, challenge stereotypes, and celebrate acceptance.
Thank you, Santosh.
Okay, most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Those, ma'am.
Yes, now he'll speak.
What
I know.
makes yes, sir. Over to you, Ampat sir. You
No,
want to say something?
I finished speaking. You go on to the next speaker. Then later I will read a poem. I don't know why you can't. Usually it's very clear on Zoom. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, Sneha, he's telling you to move to next
Yeah.
speaker. He'll in the second round he'll read the poem. This is
Okay.
what he means to say.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. What makes Measure of My Days truly remarkable is its astonishing range from mythology to modernity, from haiku to dramatic monologue, from intimate confessions to social critique. The collection moves seamlessly across forms and emotions. Poems like Canvas of Endurance and 50 Rupees and A World Apart reveal not only artistic sensitivity but also moral courage and deep social awareness. And yet, amid all this depth, there is playfulness too, seen delightfully in Pinka Unleashed, a feline fable of fox fur and found truth, where wit, literary allusion, and identity blend into a charming philosophical reflection. Now, I would like to call Miss Satbir Chadha. Satbir Chadha is a novelist, poet, short story writer, and translator based in Delhi. She has instituted the NISSIM Prize for the best upcoming poets and novelists in English language. Over to you, Miss Satbir Chadha.
Thank you very much, Sneha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Am I audible
Yes,
nicely?
ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. So I'm honored and very happy, very proud to read about Ritu Kamra's book. I've been through with her for a long time with her journey, and I've enjoyed every aspect, and I've seen her grow as a poet, as an author, as a writer, as a human being, and well, whatever. About this poem, about this book, I will say that Ritu Kamra's collection of 108 poems is like a marathon. It takes you through several phases of life, periods in history, and the poems are born of her own experience, beliefs, and sensitivity. She writes across several forms like lyrics, sonnets, villanelles, soliloquies, haiku, free verse. This shows the deliberation, the concentration of her emotions, and the compulsion of her soul and her creativity. Her poems are mindfully crafted. Her poems are mindfully crafted, ambitiously embellished with the favorite figures of speech. We all know what her favorite figures of speech are, and their content is duly, subtly layered. It's highly enjoyable. She writes on the beauty of nature, the love of her love of flowers, as in the poem A Petaled Promise. It's a beautiful poem. Her delight at seeing a cloudy sky and her grief at the environmental decay around us, as in the poem I Weep in Plastic. This poem is a classic. She actually She makes your blood actually boil at the sort of uh, carelessness that we are doing with this world. What comes across most after reading all the poems is her overpowering feminism, the injustice to women at every stage, particularly in the domestic domain, the prevalent patriarchy, misogyny, and gender disparity disturbs her the most through all her poems. But always, like the phoenix, is her determination to rise above it all. That positivity of spirit and hope is the mark of her feminist poetry. Even in her stories, it's the mark. As in the poem Canvas of Endurance, she says, who dares destroy the will to rise, the hunger to hope, to still implore, even Icarus, scorched by skies, dreamed of wings that could soar once more. In the poem Broiled Affinities, she wrings our heart with the rants of a childless woman. That sensitivity is another part of her writings. Ritu is amazed at all that she experiences in God's realm. She writes sonnets of sunshine days, and she writes an ode to a starry night serene, enthralled by it all. The magic of her mom's meaty mutties. I mean, her nostalgic poems, they really touch your gut. You feel what she's feeling. This nostalgia in her poem is, she lovingly talks about her parents, her siblings, and she softly sobs for the one she's lost. She sobs for that one in every book, in every, but selfless. Ritu's poems grow with her, mature. As a woman matures, her poetry matures. And she ponders even upon aging, the love, loneliness of the elderly whose last days are behind them, whose best days are behind them. In the poem, Threads of the Forgotten, she says, the hands, her hands like withered autumn leaves, knit quiet hope on woolen weaves. In the measure of my days, the variety of themes and narratives is vast, but all poems are a delight to read and engaging. You can't put them down. I congratulate her once again on bringing out this book and continuously being proud of her getting writing so much better and better. Thank you so much, Ritu, for this invitation.
Indebted, ma'am. Indebted, really indebted.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Satbir ma'am, for your insight. The hallmark of this collection is its ability to weave the personal and the universal together. Dr. Kumar writes of mothers, bodies, diaries, seasons, loneliness, creativity, love, injustice, and time. But in doing so, she writes about all of us. With this, I would like to call Dr. Meenakshi Mohan. Dr. Meenakshi Mohan is an internationally published writer, scholar, art critic, children's writer, painter, and poet. She is on the editorial committee for Inquiry in Education, a peer reviewed journal published in National Louis University, Chicago, Illinois. She is an advisory editor for Confluence UK. Meenakshi received the Setu and Panorama International Awards for Excellence in Literature. Her book Symphonies of Life won the Sudesh Kamra Memorial Award for the Best Debut Poetry Book at the Bhasa and Beyond Literary Festival, Pune. Meenakshi lives in the USA. Over to you, Dr. Meenakshi Mohan.
Thank you so much, Sneha. And most importantly, I would like to congratulate Ritu, Kamra, Kumar on this beautiful book. It was a pleasure going through it. Um, I first, I want to tell you that I'm probably going to repeat a lot what you guys already discussed in the book because, I took out some of the same quotes and stuff like, so I'm just going to say that. So I first came to know Ritu Kumar as a reader and critic, through various sites and stuff like that. She selected my own book, Symphonies of Life, for the Best Debut Book Award at the Bhasha and Beyond Book Festival in Pune, which was organized by the Literary Warriors Group. After that, we became friends on Facebook, which allowed me to dive deeply into her work and came to know her more. I'm in love with her style writing. Her new collection, Measure of My Day, features 108 poems beautifully divided across 11 distinct sections. Together, these poems weave a rich, vibrant tapestry that explores a vast spectrum of moods, forms, and structures. Ritu shows a masterful versatility. I completely agree with Santosh Bakaya observation that her poems present an eclectic mix of varied subjects, ranging seamlessly from autism and artificial intelligence and deep spirituality and nature. What strikes me most in that Ritu's style is structurally disciplined and yet emotionally expansive. She successfully marries an old world romantic elegance with sharp, deeply contemporary themes. She refuses to lock herself into a single form. Her voice is incredibly adaptive. She writes beautifully structured sonnets and then effortlessly pivots to other styles like haiku, tanka, and I don't even know how to pronounce this villainess because I don't even know what that is and how to write that. It's monologues and free verses depending entirely on what the subject matter demands. The image The imagery throughout this collection is breathtaking. Consider the line, when summer sang in saffron flame. It gives an exquisite sensory gleam of a physical atmosphere in a highly metaphorical way. We also see rich cultural markers woven into her tapestry for influence in the poem, The Magic of Mom's Meaty Mitti, as somebody already talked about Methi. She seamlessly incorporates words like maida, suji, soft, etc. in that one. On the lighter side, her poem Prompts and Poppycock, which captures a lyrical, witty banter between Ritu and Avantika, had me laughing out loud. You know, I will give you not word by word, but some essence from that poem. Hark, dear Avantika, dost thou know at TSL proms sprout spiked thorns a rose, tougher than Milton's longest prose? To which Avantika's response, Toba Toba. You speak the truth. They drop like bombs in a poet's stew. Santosh Bakaya gives prompts like riddles of ages old. I totally agree. This poem was a riot. That's why I couldn't even keep up with it, I tell you. beyond, beyond humor, the collection holds great depth. We see powerful patriotic themes in poems like Born of India's Breath, I Rise. Then in a poem, her sorrow only shows. She draws open, traditional Indian mythological characters to depict a woman's helplessness when given away in marriage without her consent. She compares this to Gandhari. She writes, Yes, I know her. I too blindfolded myself, not with cloth, but with expectation, sacrifice, and silence. Um, Ritu's treatment of the natural world deeply resonates with the romanticism of Keats and Blake, viewing nature as a profound spiritual sanctuary. To close, I would like to quote Dr. Ampat Koshy, who beautifully observed that Ritu's lyrics, monologue, and soliloquy weave together a tapestry into which readers might interlace their own experiences. Because I could remember some of my own experience with some of her poems, like memories of childhood, struggles, etc. Measure of My Day is a truly beautiful book. Congratulate once again, Ritu. I wish you and this collection a monumental success. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
In an age of hurried communication and fleeting attention, Measure of My Days invites us to pause, to feel deeply, to reflect honestly, and to listen carefully to the whispers between the lines. Now, I would like to call Dr. Roopali Sircar Gaur. Professor Roopali Sircar Gaur is an internationally known bilingual poet, novelist, author, editor, reviewer, ecologist, and social justice activist, co-author of 14 poetry anthologies. Her poetry concerns itself with social issues and human behavior. Her book, The Twice Colonized Women in African Literature, published in 1995, is a seminal book on the subject. Her solo book of 101 poems, Esther Cully, Do You See the Stars? 101 was released in 2026. Her poetry is archived in the Stanford University Pandemic Digital Library and in the Bath University's Transnational Project. Her debut novel, Porridge and I, Growing Up with India, was published in 2025. She is founder president of She is a founder president of Yuvati, a non-profit organization, Mera Kitab Ghar. The Backyard Book Club is her special initiative to bring reading to children from economically stressed background. Over to you, Dr. Rupali Sircar Gaur.
Thank you so much, Sneha. At least we established my credibility for being here and speaking about Ritu's book. She herself is a scholar and professor and ex-principal, and therefore I have to have some credibility. So your reading out my bio made me feel okay. Sahi aadmi hai idhar abhi. Huh? And thank you so much, Prasanna, for providing this portal. This is an excellent portal for launching books. And of course, all of you who are here, you've been very closely associated with the book. I'm just a reader. Now, I want to talk about it, would I pick up Measure of My Days if I saw it at an airport bookshop? Yes, I would. Why? Because firstly, it has 108 poems in it, and it would help me in my long journey. And secondly, I'm very, very, enamored by the title, Measure of My Days, because my days and your days are the same. We go through. And I think Sneha said that from the very personal to the very universal you have brought up. Now, when I first spoke to you, and I've just written down a few words because I tend to forget, so I don't want to take up time because, I tend to ramble. So I just read these few lines out. Poet Ritu Kamra's book of 108 poems, Measures of My Days, measured many of my days. That's where lies its universal appeal, the passing of myriad thoughts and feelings, the happy ones and the sad ones, and through even the most despondent ones, like rise, resist, and heal, where image after image of a world falling apart pulls itself out and begins to call upon the healing vision, an affirmation, hoping to turn the darkness to a jubilant dawn. I can see her carrying her bag full of books. Now, in her, I see myself when I was teaching. I can see her carrying her bag full of books on her way to the lecture hall, ruminating over the day as it goes by. Lyrical as the poems are, they're also filtering through a very learned, articulate mind. An academic, a scholar, a student, and a teacher of literature. So deeply she immersed that it surfaces clearly in her poetry. It is true of many great poets who were intellectuals and scholars. References and images come from learning. I find that in Dr. Ritu Kamra's poetry, and found poem, which I'm going to read later on, is an example. Now, there are, as a reader, I can't read 108 poems. I'm not reviewing the book. I'm just a reader. So I went through some of the very interesting one, the one that Satbir mentioned about the plastic. It's so, the earth speaking. The earth speaking, you personified the earth. You made her so real. I mean, her angst is so clear in that poem. Then the other poem that I liked very much was The Thorns of Thistletime. The last verse is so beautiful. It's so beautiful because it reassures, your poems reassure us. They tell us the truth, and then at the end of it, it reassures us. And then I have this poem besides let me just 1 second. Rise, Resist, and Heal. The first part of it is very, very strong. It looks at the world in its darkest form, but then you offer so much hope, Ritu. And I think that's the compassionate human being, the teacher, the lover of nature, that all comes out in it. So I think as a reader of your book, not as a critic, I think it's a wonderful book, a book that I would carry when I go to sleep in my bed, when I'm traveling. Every day I'll read one poem, two poems, and learn so much. Thank you so much for writing this book.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful words. Thank you.
Thank you, Roopali ma'am. Indeed, the poems are treat to us. Now, I would like to call Dr. Santosh Bakaya to read a poem from Dr. Ritu's book. Unmute yourself, ma'am.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. And the poem that I'm going to read is on page 84. And it is Through My Window, You Must See. You think I'm just another woman on a bus? Headscarf loose, gaze lost past the glass. But this window isn't just for looking. It's where I speak when the world won't ask. Born as human, shaped into silence. I love this line. Born as a human, shaped into silence, taught to tiptoe, speak sweet, serve tea. A woman, they say, must earn her world by shrinking to fit what they decree. This pain, my second skin, holds reflections of rules I never wrote. Glass ceilings hang like invisible clouds, their weight pressing down my throat. Alice Walker once whispered to me, not in dreams, but in daylight rage. Our mothers wrote in gardens and grief, while men scrawled across history's page. I want to roam, where signs say no, not in. I want to roam, where signs say no, drive past dusk without fear's refrain, not to shatter norms with noise, but to sing against society's chain. Rolls were handed like heirloom rings, but I slipped them off with steady grace. I dare to tread the pebbled path, to reach a self they can't erase. See, there's no meekness in the seat, only strength strapped in resilience. Only strength strapped in resilience. Another line which I love very much. I write not just through traffic, but through centuries of silence. And if you hear in my stillness, and if you hear in my stillness the roar of something wild and free, know that locked doors may still exist, but not for women like me. But not for women like me. Thank you for writing this poem. And this poem echoes the sentiments of all women. Thank you again for writing this very, very meaningful and profound poem.
Thank you, Santosh. Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.
Now I would like to request Dr. Ampat Koshy to kindly recite the poem.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the electricity is gone.
We
Can
can
you
see
hear
you,
me?
sir. Yes, we can hear you also.
Yeah, so I'm just lighting up some lamps, some candles. I want to read this poem on autism awareness because my son has autism and Ritu has written some lines I really want to share from that. Can you still hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay. Autism awareness. Nature paints with a radiant hand, a rainbow stretched across the land. Colors dancing in sweet array, green, red, yellow, pink in play. Diverse, distinct, they blend and link in perfect harmony. Don't you think brooks and rivers meet the sea? Tall trees touch the sky with glee. Of all the hues that catch my eye, it's a fire that makes me sigh. Sorry.
a noble gift.
It skipped. Just a minute.
A noble gift so true, so rare.
Yeah, one second, I got it. Of all the hues that catch my eye, it's sapphire blue that makes me sigh. A noble gift so true, so rare, beauty with a royal air. No envy in the way they shine, they speak in tones beyond design. See pearls of grace, God's quiet decree, like Benny in the Bible's plea. Born to hearts that truly see the essence of life's purity. Their days are steeped in love and care, in challenges that few would dare. Yet parents rise with strength anew, with courage, fear, and purpose true. A stranger's smile can light their way, an animal's nudge can make their day, a writer's words, a gentle song, an observant friend who comes along. But if the world were kinder still, would it remove each tested will? No, society often looks away, ignoring truths lived every day. They need more than kind intention, more than fleeting comprehension. Not sympathy, but dignity, a life with full humanity. Their blues on earth are deep and real, deserving love, respect, and zeal. Privilege lies not in what you face, but in the ease, the lack, the grace. The light bulb flickers in the mind. Gratitude, what we hope to find. It lifts the soul and clears the night, a time to act, to shine that light. This is a season pure and true to show the world what we must do. So it's a very well written poem, and I really loved it. Because I read myself into it, and I read my son and my wife For example, some lines that really spoke to me are, their days are steeped in love and care, in challenges that few would dare. Yet parents rise with strength anew, with courage fierce and purpose true. A stranger's smile can light their way, an animal's nudge can make their day. Now, these lines, maybe Ritu means it about those who have autism, but it can also be true about the caregivers and siblings and the parents. And here there's some lines that uh, uh, that really speaks a lot to me. I'm sorry if I sound a little judgmental, but they are lines in the poem. Society often looks away, ignoring truths lived every day. They need more than kind intention, more than fleeting comprehension. And then these lines, their blues on earth are deep and real. Um, a light bulb flickers in the mind. Yeah, it's a very powerful poem. I hope you can still hear me.
Yeah, you are. You are audible, sir. And sir, I would like to share with you that my Masi's daughter, she has a son. She resides in UK, London. She has also the son, Mike, who is having this autism. So I can
Okay.
understand because she shares the things that she faces in every day. She has never visited India once she left because of her son. So day to day challenges that she faces, she keeps on sharing. So I could reach there, and I had Mike in my mind. Her son's name is Mike when I wrote this poem. So this is the
Yeah.
something I wanted to share with you.
So thank you, because as I told you, many of those lines really reverberated with me. And although, like I said, you have written 108 wonderful poems, but this spoke to me more than the others, inevitably. So I had to share that.
Thank
I
you,
hope
sir.
you don't mind. Yeah.
No, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing the poem, sir. Now I would like to call Miss Satbir Chadha to share her poem with us.
Mm.
Sad-
Yes, thank you, Sneha. Uh, I've chosen this poem, Partition and Devastation, because Ritu has written vastly about emotional aspects of living day to day and whatever. But this is a historical event, and she has written wonderfully about this. So I want to recite this today. It's a longish poem. Please bear with me. Partition and devastation. Memory is not history, it is the conscience of those unheard. The summer of 47 was dry, blistered, cruel. The winds blew dust, the skies stayed mute. No monsoon came, but something else did. A storm of men, borders, blood, maps redrawn by imperial hands, split a land, a people, a pulse. The British carved a cunning wedge between neighbor, friend, and faith alike. Communal poison dripped in veins, spears and bullets spoke in rage. Hindu, Sikh, and Muslim alike fell to madness, grief, and spite. Trains arrived not with travelers, but corpses. From Lahore to Amritsar, from India to Pakistan. Retaliation rode steel tracks, dead eyes open, a nation wept. Did they call it freedom? The whisper returns. Oh no, only the illusion of it. Behind the curtain, fanatics cheered. Leaders sought thrones, not truth. The masses bled for elevation. They never claimed, nor even asked. 1 million lives, a bitter price. And yet, what did we gain? What did we gain? Inequality stays, caste mutates. Though law may ban, thought still chains. We live distinctions in disguised attire, in surnames, silence, dining, desire. Ours is a land of riddled memory, where archives vanish and wounds remain. The East, poetic, yes, but poorly preserved. Scribes silent, truth archived in pain. They gave us borders drawn in haste and left behind a haunting taste of betrayal dressed in diplomacy, of division etched into destiny. We remember not just what was done, but what was lost and who we become. We remember not just what was done, but what was lost and who we become. So she so eloquently describes this picture of devastation, and in her poignant lines, she has said that it changed the whole complexion, the whole identity of this whole population. Thank you so much, Ritu.
Thank
This
you, ma'am.
was a heart-rending poem, but a very, very strong poem. Thank you for writing this.
I talked to my father regarding this, and he told me certain stories. And then I had read Khushwant Singh's Train to Pakistan also.
Yes,
Yes,
that reflects here.
that reflects.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
reflects.
That reflects
That
here.
reflects. So that is what I think. The images, the weather, the emotional quotient, it comes from there also, and from my father's narration also, that he walked all the way, and then what they faced, how they reached there, then to somebody's place, they didn't have money. So there are many stories that he keeps on
Very
telling.
true. Everybody has stories.
Everybody has
But
stories.
after when Kushwant Singh passed,
Yeah.
passed away, I wrote that everybody should in the world should read Train to
Train to
Pakistan,
Pakistan.
not once but again and again,
Again.
so that nowhere in the world should this ever happen again. But alas, it is happening all over the world.
Yeah, that is what at the end I said now that the things have all changed. They have changed. The attire is different, but we remain same.
But ultimately,
Distinctions are there. They are dressed in different attires now. I would say this.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Satbir ma'am. Now I would like to call Dr. Meenakshi Mohan to read the poem.
Sorry, my coughing is just starting. Okay, my poem is Where Silence Sings, page 47. Its first section, lucid lyrics. Where silence sings. An exuberant dawn, so fair, so bright, a mesmerizing morn in umber light. I wandered gladly through sacred hours and paused beneath a bower of flowers. Nature unveiled her tranquil grace, a fiery charm adorned the place. Drawn by bells that chimed so clear, I followed the sound and found a shrine near. The lamps were lit, the idols gleamed, in golden haze the moment dreamed. Incense rose in spirals high, a hush of heaven beneath the sky. The prayers were said, the rites were done, the faithful left. There remained just one. I stood alone as moonlight fell and kissed the river's silent swell. A tender thought began to bloom that God resides beyond the room, not only in chants or sculpted stone, but in the hush we call our own. As Blake once wrote in mystic tone, to see a world in grain of sand alone. I glimpsed the divine in air and stream, in drifting leaves and starlit dawn. No thunder spoke, no angel wings, just peace within where silence sings. This poem perfectly resonates with the title of the book, Measure of My Days, and also with the Rilke's quote, poetry is the experience of life distilled. We have limited time on earth, so we should value whatever we have. And the ultimate peace is found within our own soul. Actually, four lines really resonate with me. I really love this poem.
क्या
A,
कर
ten-
रहे
Hello?
हैं?
A tender thought began to bloom that God resides beyond the not only in chants or sculpted stone, but in the hush we call our own. And I love Blake's one line quote, to see a world in grain of sand alone. Beautiful poem. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Meenakshi, ma'am. God is not in temples or in church, as I said earlier. It is the spiritual spaces are within. It is our inner vision. I think we need to have that spark to ignite that vision so that we reach there. So this was the
Yeah.
idea behind that poem.
Now I would like to call Dr. Roopali Sircar Gaur to read the poem.
Okay, I thank you for all the poems that you have in this book, Ritu, but I found the found poem. Now you'll have to tell me why you call it found poem before I
Because
read it.
it was a prompt that was given to us by esteemed Dr. Ampat Koshy, that we
Okay.
had to find the different lines and put them together and create a poem of our own. So this is how we found the different lines and created a complete poem. So this is basically a prompt that was given in NaPoWriMo 2025 by Dr. Ampat Koshy.
Besides that, I mean, it just sort of fell into your lap because I think, as I mentioned earlier also, that you're the scholar poet. You know, you have the scholar gypsy like that, you have the scholar poet. You're a really scholar poet because even when you were introducing your book, you were talking about Toni Morrison, you were talking about, you know, all the great writers in literature. And I can imagine you how good you must have been in the classroom. So this is a very short poem. Um, and I may have a little difficulty reading it because I have the light here in my room is not very good. But you have many poets here in this poem, and because I think that those of us who have studied literature and those of us who have taught English literature, we tend to remember a lot of lines from the literature that we have read and that we have taught, and then they keep coming to our mind all the time. So we have Tennyson and we have, we have W.H. Davis and we have William Wordsworth and we have Shakespeare. And if I missed out here, we have Mansfield. We have so many. So found poem. You found a poem which you put together, and it's come together very beautifully. What is life if full of care? If we have no time to stand and stare? So often we think of this every day today. A host of golden daffodils besides the lake beneath the tree. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. One short sleep, and we wake eternally. Laugh till the game is played, and be you merry, my friends. Twilight and evening bell, and after that dark, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. You know, on the earth, and all you need to know. So there is so much of wisdom, and it's so sweet that you put them together. And compliments to Dr. Ampat Koshy for even thinking of such an idea. of getting them together. So congratulations. And I hope to keep reading your book continuously, one poem a day.
So that's why now with
And measure my days.
with
Measurement.
Avantika, when we discussed the prompts, we didn't say without anything. They are toba toba, because prompts are so innovative that you just sit for 1 minute that how to write about this prompt, and then you put in your efforts, and then the poems turn out. So thanks to once again, I'm so happy that three admins of the Significant League are here. I think they have been my mentors. They have been my teachers. I love and respect all of them. I'm in awe of them. Rather, I keep on loving them. I keep on calling them, and I have developed a very good relationship with all of them. So salute to their dedication. I would say their delightful creativity, which ignites our creativity also. So what I've learned from this platform, I am always indebted to all of you, all of them. Thank you. Santosh
Thank
Bakaya, Satbir Chadha, and Dr. Ampat Koshy, Roopali ji, Meenakshi ma'am. Everyone has made me learn something from all of you. And Prasanna, whenever I was caught in a dilemma, what to do about this prompt, I used to call him, कि मैंने ऐसे लिखा है, ये ठीक है. He said, you are doing good. So this is what the Prasanna also helped me in, you can say, grow as a poet. Santosh Di was saying something. I would love to listen to her.
No, I wasn't saying anything. I was just reminded of something that Roopali said during this time. She did not write on the strong, but last year she had written, and she would call late at night and say, "Santosh, क्या हो गई? पागल हो गई हो? क्या prompts दे रही हो?" and then and then she could write such beautiful poems, just out of this world, and those were beautifully written. I can never forget that. That's why I asked her to write the foreword of my earlier book, and she wrote a wonderful foreword. And I always remember the way she called me up and said, "Santosh, pagal ho gayi ho,
We can't say this, na?
And every time I see Dr. Ampat Koshy, I have to remind you that I was a student in Mount Carmel College, and I was the naughtiest student in that college. The amount of times I jumped over the wall just to go and meet Pataudi and other people like that. I would.
Thank you,
Now,
everyone.
now I would like to call Prasanna K. Kumar to speak few lines about the book and conclude the program.
After all, how could I go? Thank you for the opportunity, Ritu Didi, the measure of my days. How could I measure each day with blessing of yours, maybe? And thank you, Sneha ma'am, for taking this show beautifully. I read a poem when silence wears a color, how it turned out to be. I thread the veins of a restless river, life, a fistful of sleeping sand. I sip the breath of a newborn dew, each drop a dream, aching to the cradle they leave, but turns to frost at the kiss. The moon bleeds quiet fire, igniting the hollows of my chest. The sun, weary with knowing, lets the mist veil its face. At midnight, the sky confesses rain like withheld words, pours low, yet my eyes forget to weep. My mind and airy field, the spire glooms, rootless and vast. What a palette does sorrow paint with when even silence wears colors. What a profound expression. I have so many moments to share with you all. It's like a personal relationship with Dr. Ritu Kumar, Ritu Karma Kumar. I think I could just call her Didi, fondly. So, but it's such a, she has this intense passion of, writing and putting across her thoughts. She has a varied, facets of, she observed life so intently that she, I think when you hold the book, you feel like it's heavy, the heavy with emotions, heavy with, the kind of thoughts that, came out in this book. So I would definitely like to recommend to the viewers to, get a hand on this measure of my day. So thank you, my dears. So what an opportunity that we got today that to discuss a book written by, poetry collection written by Dr. Ritu Kumar, and having Dr. Santosh Bakaya, Dr. Ampat Koshy, sir, Satbir Chadha, ma'am, Meenakshi Mohan, ma'am, Roopali, ma'am, Sneha, ma'am, of course, and the writer herself. What a pleasant evening today we have. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you all the panelists and moderation done by the Sneha. It was wonderful meeting all of you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you for writing this wonderful book, and
Thank you,
we
Didi.
look forward
Thank
to more of your
you.
books. All the
Thank
best.
you. Always, always your love.
Lots of luck. Lots of luck.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All the best.
Look at
Okay.
the
Thank
candle.
you, Dr. Koshy. Thank you, Dr. Koshy, with candle. Yeah. This is a very special moment. We are celebrating with candle.
I think
Yeah.
Sneha Sneha ma'am would better conclude the event by reading a poem of her choice.
As we arrive at the close of this beautiful literary evening, it is my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks for the launch of Measure of My Days by the wonderfully talented Dr. Ritu Kamra Kumar. What we witnessed today was not merely a book launch, but a celebration of imagination, language, emotion, and the enduring power of poetry to connect hearts across experiences and generations. First and foremost, our deepest gratitude to our esteemed chairperson, Dr. Roopali, panelists, Dr. Santosh Bakaya, Dr. Ampat Koshy, Dr. Meenakshi Mohan, and Ms. Satbir Chadha. And I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to the convener, Prasanna K. Kumar. And finally, thank you to all the poetry lovers and attendees who joined us today. Literature truly comes alive only when words find listening hearts. As we leave this evening, may the poems from Measure of My Days continue to echo within us like soft music, like remembered light, like whispered truths carried gently through time. Thank you once again and wishing everyone a wonderful evening ahead.
And thank you, Sneha, for
Thank
carrying
you.
out this
Thank you.
program so beautifully.
Thank you.
Sneha, your moderation was so poetic and lyrical. I
Yes.
enjoyed every word you spoke. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You
Thank you,
introduced
Sneha.
us as if you're musically introducing us.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Thank you.
There was a certain lyricism to her moderation.
To the introduction.
Yeah.
That
Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Very
much.
good. Very well done.
wonderful moderation, Sneha. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay.
And thank you, Dr. Ampat Koshy, for that candle-lit celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That made the moment special for me, Didi.
Yes. Koshy's holding a candle to your book.
Yeah. That means a
Don't
lot.
forget to write that.
It means a lot. I wanted this, and Santosh knows it very well. We had a word, not to disclose here, but I did talk to Santosh.
I
Thank
don't
you.
think Koshi would hold a candle for anything except for a book.
I know her. Tomorrow we may get a prompt on candle. Don't give Didi.
No. This is special.
This is
Thank
special.
you, Koshi. Nice meeting you, Santosh.
Yeah.
Nice
Roopali
meeting
ji.
all of you. Yeah. Look at the
Yeah.
candle.
I'm missing you all.
Holding that candle. The
Meenakshi,
Roopali
It is
ji.
melting away.
lovely meeting you.
Roopali ma'am, thank you. It was nice meeting you for the first time. Meenakshi ji also, and all the three.
Meenakshi, take care. Get well soon. So we meet soon.
Meenakshi.
I think she is
Okay.
left.
Good
Okay.
night.
Good night. Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Good night. Good night, Prasanna. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.